see his face? He was wearing some sort of mask.
Who do you think's this next victim?
You kidnapped Barry.
Let's go save the Flash. Flash, all new Tuesday, November 13th on the CW.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. We got a new Flash trailer to break down, and just a heads up, it's going to be on break for the next 2 weeks. When it comes back, I think that it'll be more in sync with the timeline of Arrow. Then there shouldn't be any more breaks between that and the end of the crossover. The crossover is going to be episode 9, which is usually the mid-season finale. That'll be happening mid-December this year. We've also got another preview of Black Costume Superman and what he might be during the crossover, so I'll talk about that at the end of the video too. There's a new round of the Flash Ring giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a Flash-related comment on the video. I'll name a new winner at the end of this. Obviously, big thing is that they're introducing the Ragdoll character from the comics. It seems like they're going with the second version of the character just because that's the one that most people know when they talk about Ragdoll from the comics. He's actually Peter Merkel Jr. He took the mantle from his father, and they turned it into this big father-son thing where he was never able to impress his father or live up to his legacy as Ragdoll. So because there's all that family drama happening right now, maybe they'll try to play that angle a little bit. But the description of the episode reads, Nora lets something slip about the future. It devastates Iris. Barry has to take down Ragdoll, and Caitlin learns something about her future. So in order of big plot beats, Nora probably tells Iris that Barry dies during Crisis on Infinite Earths and she's a single mother trying to raise Nora in the future. That's really the only thing aside from telling her that Joe West and maybe Cecile wind up dying in the future too, because she seems really close to Papa Joe, so maybe he's just like a really awesome grandpa to her in the future and he dies and it devastates her. The thing Caitlin learns about her father might have something to do with the research that he was conducting that led to his disappearance, and one of the big reasons they might have for only surfacing the character now, like why did he wait till now to make himself known if he's been alive this whole time? It might have something to do with collateral damage from the Thinker's dark matter satellite. But there is an episode titled The Iceman Cometh that's coming up, so that's probably the first real big appearance that he gets. I didn't talk too much about it during my episode video just because I wanted to keep it from getting too long, but the end tag scene with Cicada clutching his chest like he's in pain, but suddenly finding himself way stronger just makes it seem like he's evolving because of the accident with the Thinker's satellite. So what probably happened is the satellite broke apart, shrapnel hit him, that shrapnel that he pulled out of himself was the Speed Force dagger that he's been wielding all season long. If you haven't seen it up close, it says Star Labs on the dagger, so it's literally a piece of the satellite that was embedded in him, infested him with that special tech that gives him the connection to the dagger and is also tangentially giving him powers, fundamentally changing him on a genetic level, which is probably what causes him to be so crazy in the future. He's probably evolving into an all-powerful villain later in the timeline, so like 30 plus years in the future. Just imagine how much worse his condition gets. It probably spreads all over his body. making him way too strong for any member of Team Flash or the Justice League to take down, which, sidebar, also creates the circumstances in which Iris would think it'd be okay to hide Nora's metahuman powers, because if future Cicada is running around still killing metas and Iris has already lost Barry to Crisis on Infinite Earths, she probably freaks and is worried that Cicada will come for Nora if she turns into another Flash like Barry. That's probably the reason future Iris put that dampening chip inside Nora when she was a small child. There were a lot of you that were also wondering about the Legends of Tomorrow Zari timeline, because metahumans were outlawed where she comes from, and the time period that she's from is close to the time period that Nora came back from. But one of the problems with that is that Legends of Tomorrow doesn't really care about keeping things canon within the Arrowverse. Like, they just have a completely crazy storyline, and they don't worry too much about it tying in with what's happening on the other TV shows. So usually when I'm thinking about future plot on The Flash, I try to just keep it within the things that they've teased on the Flash TV show. So it just implied that Cicada is the whole reason for this dampening chip situation. And I know a lot of people have asked about the 2056 Barry message from Legends of Tomorrow. Like I said, Legends of Tomorrow is really bad about keeping things canon with the rest of the Arrowverse. Future Barry's message was more of a tie-in with the Season 3 Savitar storyline, where Savitar was going all over the timeline, fooling people into believing that he was the original meta, like he went way back in the timeline and started to create those acolytes, but they didn't push too much into that cult-based storyline. So Savitar was just manipulating the timeline, jumping all over the place. So I think there was a version of Barry in an alternate timeline in the future that was trying to warn people in the past, don't trust anyone that looks like me, because he was trying to tell them that he was Savitar, or one of his time remnants was Savitar. So just assume that when they resolved their Savitar storyline and got rid of him, it sort of cleaned up any of that, because Barry is supposed to die during Crisis on Infinite Earths way before that 2056 date, so it wouldn't make sense in this current timeline for him to exist in 2056. But no worries, if you have any questions about weird continuity errors like that, feel free to ask me. Sometimes they're easy to explain, sometimes not so much. Like, sometimes they're teasing something that they'll pay off later, and sometimes it's just part of a storyline that they decided they didn't like after it was done, so they want to sweep it under the rug and hope that the fans don't remember about it. We got a slightly better look at the crossover. This is black costume Superman looking like he's going to town on all of the heroes, so it looks like them doing their version of the Superman fight during Justice League. This might be based on the original Zack Snyder Superman storyline during Justice League before he left the project. Originally, when Justice League was going to be 2 movies, Superman was going to come back and be kind of evil for most of the first movie, but because they collapsed it and it was only 1 movie, they cut out the black costume scene. Like, there was an actual Justice League deleted scene where Superman is looking at his costumes and he almost puts the black one on. That was originally going to be a much bigger deal during the Justice League movie, so it seems like the Arrowverse is just borrowing some of that storyline, where you have a slightly darker version of Superman going after all the heroes. There was a bunch of other big news lately. Marvel just confirmed they're doing a Winter Soldier TV series spin-off from Avengers 4 during Phase 4, so I'll explain what's going on with that, which characters it'll involve. They said Vision is going to be a big part of the Scarlet Witch TV series, so I'll try to talk about that during that video. And speaking of Superman, they dropped a teaser of Henry Cavill on the Witcher TV series, so I'll try to do a video for all those things as quickly as possible, no worries. Congratulations to It's Just Lightning, you're the giveaway winner from my last big DC video. Please email me on the About page of my channel so I can get your contact details. Click here for my Flash Episode 4 video, and click here to learn why Zoom is coming back during the 100th episode. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.